They looked at your silence and made the most dangerous conclusion of their lives. They thought you were afraid. They watched you swallow the insult, lower your eyes, and walk away without answering. They saw you remain still while lesser men dragged your name through the dirt. They watched betrayal enter through doors you had opened with your own hands. And because you did not burn the house down, they assumed there was no fire inside you. That was their mistake. Noisy men have never understood silence. They believe strength must announce itself. They believe power must pound its chest, expose its weapons, and threaten everyone in the room. They have spent their entire lives confusing aggression with courage because they have never possessed enough courage to remain still while fury tore through their bones. You remained quiet because you knew what your anger could become. You walked away because there was still something sacred inside you that refused to become as filthy as the hands provoking you. That was not fear. That was a warrior holding the gate against himself. Every insult landed. Every lie entered. Every betrayal found flesh. Do not pretend that it did not hurt. Do not insult your own scars by acting as though you felt nothing. You felt everything. You felt the blade enter, turn, and remain. You felt the laughter behind your back. You felt the coldness of people who once ate beside you. You watched men enjoy the destruction they had caused, believing your refusal to retaliate was proof that they had defeated you. Yet, you did not move. Not because you were powerless, because fury without command is merely another chain. Any fool can lose control. Any coward can become violent when his pride is wounded. Any weak man can surrender his mind to rage and call the destruction strength. But it takes something far more dangerous to feel the beast rise and still keep your hand upon its throat. It is written, "He that is slow to anger is better than the mighty, and he that ruleth his spirit than he that taketh a city." You were not losing the war when you controlled your anger. You were conquering the first kingdom, yourself. They never saw that battle. They only saw the closed mouth. They did not hear the iron doors slamming inside your chest. They did not see you wrestling with thoughts that arrived after midnight. They did not witness the moments when vengeance placed a crown before you and invited you to become king over ruins. You could have answered. You could have exposed every secret. You could have returned every wound with interest and left their names bleeding beneath the truth. But something greater than fury stood behind your ribs and commanded you to wait. So you waited, and waiting became its own kind of warfare. Let them misunderstand it. A sword does not lose its edge because it remains inside the sheath. A lion does not become harmless because it watches from the darkness. Thunder does not cease to exist because the sky has not yet broken. Your restraint was never an invitation. It was the final wall standing between them and the consequences of what they had awakened. But arrogant men mistake walls for weakness. They kept striking. They kept testing. They kept reaching further into the fire because the first flame did not burn them. Mercy made them careless. Patience made them bold. Your discipline convinced them that they could continue forever without meeting the man their cruelty was creating. They saw the chains. They never asked why the chains were necessary. Brother, listen. Do not crown your anger and call it holy. You are still a man. Your vision can be wounded. Your judgment can be poisoned. Fury can give strength to your feet while placing blindness over your eyes. If you allow it to rule, it will turn your soul into the same dark country your enemies came from. Your fury is not your king. It is your weapon. It must kneel before God before it ever stands before men. There is a fury that destroys its own house, and there is a fury that rebuilds a man so completely that nothing which wounded him can command him again. One screams, the other trains. One spills itself upon anything within reach. The other becomes colder, sharper, and almost impossible to provoke. You are becoming the second. You no longer waste your fire answering every barking voice. You no longer enter every battle simply because an enemy opened his mouth. You no longer prove your courage to people whose opinions could not survive one night inside your history. You have learned the difference between a challenge and a distraction. That lesson did not make you softer. It made you lethal to everything that once controlled you. They could control the old version of you by insulting your pride. They could pull your strings with rejection. They could make you abandon your path merely by whispering that you were weak. But that man is disappearing. Now they insult you, and you study them. They lie, and you remember. They betray you, and you close the gate without ceremony. No screaming, no begging, no final speech offered to ears that never respected your voice. Only distance, only discipline, only the sound of another door being locked forever. There is a time to keep silence and a time to speak. You understood the first. They should have prayed you never reach the second. Because when a quiet warrior finally speaks, he does not waste breath defending his character. He does not negotiate with those committed to misunderstanding him. He does not return to the courtroom built by his enemies and beg liars to declare him innocent. He stands, and sometimes standing is enough to reveal who had been kneeling all along. They believed your stillness meant surrender. They thought your patience meant they had escaped judgment. They mistook the absence of retaliation for the absence of consequence. But while you remained silent, heaven did not become blind. The throne witnessed what the room denied. Every hidden hand was seen. Every false tongue was heard. Every wound was counted. You were never asked to carry wrath. That weight belongs to God. Your task was harder, to carry fury without allowing fury to carry you. And you did. Now the man who once reacted to everything has become still enough to hear the command beneath the storm. Your enemies are celebrating too early. They believe they silenced you. They do not know your silence was never the burial of your courage. It was the sharpening of it. They wanted you angry. Understand that. They did not merely want to wound you. They wanted the wound to take command. They wanted your fury to drag you from your position, stain your hands, and destroy the discipline they could never defeat. Because if they could make you react like them, they could finally claim you were no different from them. That was the trap. They needed you screaming. They needed you reckless. They needed you throwing your strength against every shadow, while the real enemy watched from a distance and laughed. But you gave them nothing. You held your ground while every nerve inside you demanded movement. You carried the heat without spilling it upon innocent ground. You stood before the Red Sea with an army behind you, death before you, and no human road beneath your feet. Then the command came, "The Lord shall fight for you, and ye shall hold your peace." Exodus 14:14, KJV. Hold your peace, not because there is no war, because this war has reached a place where human hands cannot finish it. Your silence was not the absence of fury. It was obedience in the presence of fury. It was the decision to remain beneath God's command when your blood demanded its own kingdom. That is where your enemies failed to understand you. They believed that because you did not avenge yourself, you had no power. They could not imagine a strength disciplined enough to refuse immediate satisfaction. They had never carried a sword without becoming drunk on the desire to use it. You carried yours. You felt its weight. You knew what it could do. And still, you waited. God did not command you to become harmless. God commanded you not to become theirs. Do not let hatred recruit you into the army you were born to oppose. Do not let betrayal rewrite your character. Do not allow filthy hands to decide what kind of man rises from your suffering. Your enemies may have awakened the fury. They do not get to choose its direction. Aim it at your weakness. Aim it at your hesitation. Aim it at every excuse that kept you crawling through places God had commanded you to leave. Let your fury tear the fear out of your chest. Let it burn your addiction to approval. Let it murder the cowardly need to explain yourself to people who had already decided to believe the lie. But do not place it upon the throne. Fury is a servant. Wrath belongs to the king. The scripture does not whisper this. It draws the boundary in blood and iron. Dearly beloved, avenge not yourselves, but rather give place unto wrath. For it is written, vengeance is mine. I will repay, saith the Lord. Romans 12:19. Give place unto wrath. Move your hands away from the sentence. Step back from the throne. Let God enter the space your revenge was trying to occupy. You do not need to destroy everyone who tried to destroy you. Some men are already being devoured by the darkness they carry. Some kingdoms are collapsing beneath foundations built from lies. Some enemies are drinking from cups they poisoned for you, wondering why their own mouths have begun to burn. You do not need to chase them. Time is already hunting them. Truth is already inside their walls. And God does not require your permission to uncover what was done in secret. This is where human fury ends, not in weakness, in surrender. You have brought your anger as far as a man can carry it without becoming corrupted. Now lay the final judgment before the one whose vision cannot be deceived, whose scales cannot be bribed, and whose hand has never struck the innocent by mistake. The wrath of God is not your wounded pride enlarged into heaven. It is not a tantrum. It is not blind rage. It is holy judgment rising after mercy has been mocked for the final time. God is jealous, and the Lord revengeth. The Lord revengeth, and is furious. The Lord will take vengeance on his adversaries, and he reserveth wrath for his enemies. The Lord is slow to anger, and great in power, and will not at all acquit the wicked. Nahum 1:2-3. Slow to anger. They heard slow and assumed never. They saw another sunrise and believed they had escaped. They laughed because no thunder answered them immediately. They continued lying because lightning did not split the table where they sat. They measured God's patience with the clock of arrogant men and called themselves untouchable. But delayed judgment is not cancelled judgment. The sky does not owe the earth a warning before it breaks. The throne does not need to explain why the gates have begun to close. God was not absent while you suffered. God was watching without confusion. The same silence they mistook in you, they also mistook in heaven. That was the greater mistake. They believed your silence meant fear. They believed God's silence meant approval. Now two things are rising from the darkness. A warrior who has mastered his fury, and a judgment no man can master. You will not need to announce either one. Walk differently. Let your discipline become the answer to every insult. Let your progress become the graveyard of every lie spoken over you. Let the life they tried to cripple become evidence that their hands were too weak to cancel what God had marked. Do not return to prove that you survived. Survivors do not report back to the fire. They leave carrying its heat. They leave with smoke upon their armor and a stare that no longer searches the crowd for permission. The people who knew how to control you will begin to fear the calm they once mocked. They will search for the old reactions and find nothing. They will throw familiar weapons and watch them fall uselessly at your feet because the man they manipulated is gone. The rage they expected has become order. The wound they opened has become a gate they can no longer enter. The silence they laughed at has become a fortress. Let them call it fear one final time. You know what it costs to remain still. You know how many nights you held your own soul against the wall and commanded it not to descend into hatred. You know how much strength it took to leave vengeance in the hands of God when every human instinct begged you to seize it. That battle made you more dangerous than retaliation ever could. You are no longer a wounded man searching for someone to punish. You are a warrior waiting for instruction, and when the command comes, you will not move like anger. You will move like purpose. No wasted strike, no empty threat, no war entered merely to satisfy pride. You will stand where God placed you. You will speak when God commands it. You will fight what was sent to corrupt you, and you will leave the final sentence to the throne. They mistook your silence for fear because they could not hear what was happening above them. They did not hear the scales moving. They did not hear mercy withdrawing its hand. They did not hear judgment approaching through the darkness. But they will. Your fury awakened the warrior. God's wrath will finish the war. They were waiting for you to collapse. That was the ending they had written. They expected the betrayal to hollow you out. They expected isolation to make you desperate. They expected your unanswered questions to rot into doubt until you could no longer recognize the man in the mirror. They wanted to watch you disappear slowly. Instead, you returned without asking anyone to witness it. No announcement, no speech before the gates, no parade built from borrowed praise. You simply walked back into the world carrying a presence that had not been there before. That was when fear changed sides. It was not the armor that disturbed them. It was the stillness beneath it. They remembered how easily you once reacted. They remembered the man who explained himself, defended his heart, and chased people who had already chosen to leave. They remembered how rejection could enter your mind and remain there for months. They reached for that man again, but he was no longer alive. The wilderness had buried him without ceremony. What returned was not searching for closure. It was not waiting for an apology. It was not asking enemies to admit what they had done. You had finally understood something they prayed you would never discover. You did not need their confession to confirm your wounds. You did not need their guilt to begin healing. You did not need their destruction to prove that God had preserved you. Their power ended the moment your life stopped circling what they had done. That is the victory they cannot survive. Not your revenge, your freedom. Revenge would have kept you chained to them. Every decision would still have carried their name. Every victory would have been performed in their direction. You would have built an entire kingdom only to stand upon its highest tower and search the horizon for the faces that rejected you. That is not triumph. That is another prison wearing a crown. So you turned away. You stopped building for their regret. You stopped sharpening yourself for their attention. You stopped imagining the day they would return and discover what they had lost. Let them remain gone. A warrior cannot march into his future while dragging the corpses of old betrayals behind him. Cut the rope. Leave the dead season where it fell. Your fury has already completed its first assignment. It pulled you from the floor. It placed breath back inside your lungs. It reminded you that pain had entered your body, but it had not inherited your name. Now fury must become something colder. Precision. No longer a wildfire searching for anything to consume. It is a flame guarded inside iron. It gives light when darkness enters. It gives heat when the wilderness freezes. It burns only where command has permitted it to burn. That is what terrifies those who expected a reckless man. You became controlled. They can no longer summon your anger whenever they grow bored. They can no longer drag you into meaningless wars and watch you exhaust yourself. They can no longer use your emotions as doors into your spirit. The doors have been sealed, the guards have been doubled, and the man upon the wall no longer sleeps. Do not misunderstand this hour. You have not reached the end because every enemy has fallen. You have reached the end because their survival no longer controls your peace. Whether they rise or collapse belongs to God. Whether they confess or continue lying belongs to God. Whether judgment arrives as thunder, exposure, isolation, or the slow destruction of everything built through corruption, it belongs to God. Your assignment is to remain standing when it comes. The wicked plotteth against the just, and gnasheth upon him with his teeth. The Lord shall laugh at him, for he seeth that his day is coming. Psalm 37:12-13. His day is coming, not your day to become cruel. His day to meet what his own hands have built. This is why you must not return to hatred. Judgment does not require your poison. God does not need your soul corrupted before justice can move. The throne is not strengthened by your bitterness. Keep your hands clean. Keep your eyes forward. Let no enemy make you ashamed of the fury that helped you survive. But let no fury convince you that you are entitled to the throne. You are the warrior. God is the judge. Know the difference, and you will carry power without allowing power to deform you. There are men who win battles and lose their souls in the celebration. They defeat the enemy outside, then discover that the enemy's spirit has entered them. They become the cruelty they once hated. They begin inflicting wounds simply because wounds were inflicted upon them. That will not be your ending. You will not become a monument to what hurt you. You will become proof that it failed. Walk past the ruins without kneeling to inspect them. Do not count every fallen stone. Do not waste your future watching judgment complete its work. Kings do not spend their reign staring at collapsed prisons. They build, they guard, they prepare. They remember the pit, but they do not carry its darkness into every room. The scars may remain. Let them. A scar is not an open wound. It is flesh that learned how to close around a blade's memory. Let them see it. Let them understand that everything sent to erase you became another mark upon the armor. Every betrayal became discernment. Every season of abandonment taught you how to walk without needing the crowd. Every false accusation trained you to survive without public approval. They made you lonely. The wilderness made you independent of applause. They made you angry. Discipline made the anger obey. They tried to silence you. God taught you that a quiet man can still shake a kingdom. Now you do not need to raise your voice. Your survival is loud enough. Your peace is an insult to everything that expected you to remain tormented. Your discipline is a verdict against every mouth that called you weak. Your refusal to become evil is proof that darkness entered the battle and still failed to claim the field. Stand there. Let them look. Let them search your face for the wounded man they once controlled. He is gone. They will find no begging in your eyes, no hunger for revenge, no secret request to be welcomed back into rooms God dragged you out of. Only certainty, only command, only the terrible calm of a man who has already survived the ending his enemies prepared for him. This is why your silence frightened them in the end. They finally understood that it was never emptiness. It was construction. While they mocked you, foundations were being laid beneath the ground. While they celebrated, iron was entering your spirit. While they believed you were hiding, you were being rebuilt somewhere their hands could not reach. Now the gates are opening. Do not run through them like a prisoner escaping. Walk through them like a warrior returning. Carry the fury, but keep it chained to purpose. Carry the scars, but do not let them choose your direction. Carry the memory, but leave the judgment with God. You do not need to threaten those who mistook your silence for fear. The threat has already passed. You became the consequence. Let your enemies hear your footsteps and wonder why there is no anger in them. Let them look toward heaven and discover that the silence above them has become heavier than thunder. Let them remember every warning they laughed at. Then keep walking. Your fury awakened you. Your discipline armed you. Your silence protected you. And the wrath they mocked was never yours to carry. It was waiting upon the throne.